Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the captivating world of the Great Debate with Medhi Hasan, where ideas clash and perspectives shine. This series has truly become a standout in the realm of political discourse, and I'm excited to share my top 5 highlights that make it a must-watch. First up, let's talk about the stirring adventure of intellectual exploration. Each episode is like a thrilling journey, where Medhi skillfully navigates through complex topics, bringing in diverse voices that challenge our thinking. It's not just about winning an argument, it's about understanding the nuances of each perspective. This commitment to depth is what sets the show apart. Next, we can't overlook the emotional resonance that Medhi brings to the table. His ability to connect with guests and the audience creates an atmosphere of genuine dialogue. Whether discussing pressing social issues or historical events, you can feel the passion in every exchange. This emotional engagement transforms debates into meaningful conversations, reminding us that behind every argument, there are real people with real stories. Another standout feature is the show's commitment to fact-based discussions. In an age where misinformation can easily spread, Medhi ensures that every claim is backed by credible sources. This dedication to truth not only enriches the debate, but also empowers viewers to think critically about the information they consume. It's refreshing to see a platform prioritize accuracy in such a dynamic way. The diversity of topics covered is also remarkable. From climate change to social justice, the Great Debate tackles issues that matter to us all. Each episode invites viewers to reflect on their own beliefs and encourages open-mindedness. This exploration of various subjects fosters a sense of community among viewers as we all navigate these complex issues together. Lastly, let's celebrate the show's ability to inspire action. This proactive approach motivates us to become informed citizens, ready to contribute positively to society. It's a reminder that our voices matter and that we can make a difference. In conclusion, The Great Debate with Medhi Hasan is more than just a series. It's an enlightening experience that challenges us to think, feel, and act. If you haven't tuned in yet, I highly recommend you do. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. In the viral Jubilee-surrounded debate from July 2025, journalist Medhi Hasan faced off against 20 self-identified far-right conservatives. He structured the debate around 4 central claims, but here are 3 of the most prominent ones he put forth. 1. Donald Trump is defying the U.S. Constitution. Medhi argued that Trump's actions, such as attempting to overturn the 2020 election and inciting the January 6th insurrection, were unconstitutional. He challenged the idea that loyalty to Trump should override democratic principles, sparking intense reactions from participants, including one who openly rejected democracy altogether too. 2. Immigrants are a net positive for the United States. As an immigrant himself, Medhi defended the contributions of immigrants to American society. He emphasized economic, cultural, and civic benefits, countering claims of white genocide and xenophobia voiced by some participants. 3. Israel's actions in Gaza, including the killing of children, are indefensible. Medhi condemned the Israeli military's conduct in Gaza, particularly the targeting of civilians. He cited international law and human rights concerns, which led to heated exchanges with participants who attempted to justify or downplay the violence. These claims were met with fierce resistance, including applause for fascist ideology and calls for Medhi to leave the country. Let's break it down a bit by unpacking Medhi Hasan's 3 major claims from the Jubilee-surrounded debate, focusing on how the most extreme, far-right participants responded, starting with the most unapologetically fascist voices. 1. Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Top far-right response, Connor. Connor sprinted to the mic and enthusiastically endorsed Trump's defiance, saying it was good, and that Trump should go even further too. He rejected democracy outright, declaring support for autocracy based on Catholic teaching, and praised Nazi legal theorist Carl Schmitt. When Medhi asked if he condemned Nazi persecution of Jews, Connor replied, "I think there was a little bit of persecution," and then openly identified as a fascist, prompting applause from others too. Other reactions. Several participants echoed Connor's disdain for democratic norms, with some arguing that the Constitution should be subordinate to religious or nationalist ideals too.
Now let's see this Jubilee clip.
Search Surrounded, plug in, and stay part of the conversation. Anywhere, anytime. My next claim is that Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Medhi, lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-Constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us.
Yes.
And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay, surprise, I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in your
Second Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
So you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree,
So
and that's
you
part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind
fascinating.
of voted just to.
I came with this
troll a
argument,
little
but
bit,
I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders.
Who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far-right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
brown people. So,
well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white and should stay that way.
How does the United States... I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online.
Fair enough.
But
Connor,
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
Isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt
supporters.
makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is on this. Because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
No, clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats. They were aristocrats. They didn't care.
Are you in favor of killing people who aren't like you?
quite frankly, I'm not. If
you mentioned
they,
Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic,
He only killed combatants. Is that what you're claiming?
Yeah, he
now?
only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
The White Terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill people.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi and being a Nazi,
is mutual,
if being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't. In a state that I was running, I wouldn't want to hurt you or anything like that. But quite frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
Okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why?
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you just seem
know
offended.
what you're doing here,
You
to be
just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi.
Sure.
Is the whole thing.
I never called you a Nazi.
I care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
And
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in
What
democracy.
are you doing here at a televised debate?
Because,
this is democracy. I want to debate and disagree.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned
the quiet part loud.
The
Keep saying
whole
it.
reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction.
Past him because of the Nazi
even
point.
liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
I can't say the same, but thank you.
Immigrants are a net positive for America. Top far right response, multiple participants. One participant told Medhi to get out of the country, implying that immigrants, even legal ones, don't belong for. People are facing genocide.
Now let's see this Jubilee clip.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Medhi.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk
Great.
about all those things. I need
All
to
of
know
them.
what you mean.
All of them.
All of them.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
think lower
culture.
wages are
they're
good for the
for
economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at the
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking. If you
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast
okay.
majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time
That's not-
from
that's just-
immigrants.
that's
In
just-
fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages
Who's that
and
by?
raised innovation.
Who's that by?
productivity. National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
Yes,
for
I
the
didn't
author.
memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did. Right?
Could you
It's
give
from-
me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did
The
he.
vast majority of
Hold on,
studies.
let me speak,
Please.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach, where you look at the specific firms that immigration's going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did. You find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5% Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for, massive increase in tax revenue, immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes proportionately, including undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is, I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has proudly said that.
Call us correct.
One of us proudly, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because, for example,
I actually do,
For example, do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into
that's
your
not
country.
the reason the
Yes,
Republican
it
Party
is.
blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I say I voted Republican? Did I say I voted Republican?
Well, I'm in a show that was called 25 far-right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to support every single Republican candidate.
So you and I, So you and I, let's agree. We both support raising the minimum wage. Yes?
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value. If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of low wages in the country. You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires, and people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a native-born
I get the
American.
monologue right now. Let me respond.
You had one. You had one with your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need
and
to
there
know
it
one
goes
study.
again.
The majority of studies say that wages are not impacted by migration.
The majority of your
over time.
studies are flawed. That's what I'm
They're
telling
not
you.
my studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics, right?
Are you an economist?
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume.
To use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to the
great,
point.
but
So
you're
when
not
you
an
talk about
economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
Do I
was
know what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty
That's how it's
wages.
always been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages. Can we agree again?
Yes. If you go to the Lookwood Institute, they calculate it a way where it's functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together, and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer, I can say that.
Who hires the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So
But
when you bring up these big firms,
so
that's the
let me
way
ask
that
you.
keep
Let me
wages
ask you
down.
a
You
question.
understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms would suddenly raise all the wages?
You notice
That's
how
what
you
you
didn't
believe.
answer what I said. You
That's
notice
what
how
you believe.
It was a complete. Your ankles
That's what
all
you
right?
believe.
You pivoted the hell
That's what
away
you
from the
believe.
conversation.
Is that what you? I'm on
Are
the
your ankles
subject.
okay?
Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage
They will
if
be
we
forced
stop
to.
immigration?
They will be forced to.
great
When you
biggest
increase
naivety.
labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're
But
tightening the
this is a
supply
very
of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're
Okay,
not,
explain I'm wrong.
I'm telling you how you're wrong.
here.
Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs through their presence.
About 1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like US aid, foreign aid. So this is the point. They create
Don't
jobs. I
assume
came
that.
into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like. I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing
I never
politics.
said Americans are
I don't
lazy.
know why you say this.
I never said Americans
yes,
are lazy.
You are.
The
You're
only person
saying
attacking
immigrants
people
have to
is
come
you.
into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do.
I
That's
never
exactly
said those
what
words.
you said.
When did I say it?
Oh, really?
When did I say it? We're on
why don't
YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words
You
never
said-
came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why
I
do we
thought
have to
we're
bring?
doing
Why do we have to bring in
assumptions, my
immigrants?
friend.
Why do we have to bring in immigrants
All
to the
right,
country if we have
pause.
people who are going to do the jobs?
Pause. Pause. You've been voted out.
It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
You're gonna have to go, bro.
Nice talking to you. You're gonna have to go, bro, is what he said as I left to an American.
Due to immigration, framing demographic change as existential threat. A young woman admitted her parents were immigrants, but said she doesn't accept that immigrants are Americans.
Now let's see
in
this
regards to
Jubilee
your claim, I
clip.
just want to start by asking this: do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd
Are
you
you
get?
talking
What's the
about
basis of
people-
your claim for
Are you
that?
talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming
Yes.
American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It
so
says
I'm-
any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United
I'm-
States.
I'm aware of that.
There's
I'm
about 40 to 50 million naturalized
I'm
Americans
aware
in
of
this
that.
country.
Yes, but
You didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
Positively, I would argue.
people like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because more blue-collar work, especially in construction, agriculture and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields, so it requires
Are you looking for a
us-
job in construction
I am
or
not,
agriculture?
no. I went
Just
to
joking.
college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields, also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I
I'm an
consistently
immigrant
hear-
and an American, and I employ
Sure.
many
And
American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here.
And
I employ
my
Americans.
parents. No, my parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed
Oh,
to
wow.
immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was born
But you don't
here.
accept that immigrants are Americans.
Not at this moment.
So your
because-
parents are not Americans?
Not at this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents are
they're
not Americans?
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
Yeah,
opposed
you're born
to
here, right?
naturalization. I
But
never
are your
said that I'm
parents-
against
Are
naturalization.
you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants, you said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I want
are
to make the
immigrants.
claim
You
that
sta-
we cannot
I came
even,
here as an immigrant. I'm an
But
immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the
I
United,
think
the
that
United
people aren't
States
happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years.
not from the
And I can say
statistics
that
I
as someone who
see.
doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
are you
of,
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the
immigrants
economy is doing badly now is
that
because
we
Donald
can't-
Trump's
that we're giving
tariff
it to
policy.
loans. We can't
Nothing
even
to
get
do with
businesses.
migrants. In fact, the
They can't
congressional.
even start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business. In
No,
fact,
I
in
understand
fact,
because the SBA
immigrants
is
are-
giving people
immigrants-
billions
I didn't
of
take any
loans.
loans
They're giving
from
them
SBA.
billions.
I didn't take any loans
I'm not
from
saying you
SBA.
did, but I'm
Okay,
saying
well, I'm
that
saying I did.
statistically speaking, they're giving billions of
So
loans
should we
to
do
these people.
statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
They're more likely
absolutely.
to start
No,
businesses
I'm aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of
right?
that,
Immigrants
but
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than
Yeah.
take out in benefits.
And
They're
I'm-
more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional
yeah, I
Budget Office.
understand- I
Let me just finish my
understand
point and then let you come back
Okay,
in.
go
The
ahead.
Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I
All
understand
right,
that, but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice
seat.
to meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank
Notable exception, Edwin, a self-identified far-right undocumented immigrant. Notable exceptions contribute positively. Their brief exchange was described by Medhi as touching, though Edwin was quickly voted out by the group. 3. Israel's actions in Gaza are indefensible. Top far-right response, unnamed participant. One debater attempted to justify the killing of children in Gaza, arguing it was necessary or exaggerated. Medhi cited international law and human rights violations, but many participants either deflected or refused to engage with the moral implications. General tone. The room showed little empathy for Palestinian civilians, with some participants defending Israel's military actions as self-defense or strategic necessity. Here is a breakdown of my top 5 standout performers for bad, 1 good. Here's a breakdown of the most extreme far-right participants from Medhi Hasan's Jubilee-surrounded debate ranked by how unapologetically fascist or reactionary they were. 1. Conard openly fascist, Nazi apologist. Extremism level, maxed out. Quote, viral clip, NBC News coverage of Connor's fascist admission. Fallout. Connor was fired from his job after the debate and raised over $29,000 on a Christian crowdfunding site, with donors writing things like "It's okay to be white" and "Vive le fascisme." 2. White genocide guy ethno-nationalist alarmism. Extremism level. Quote. Viral clip, garnered for million views on X. Reaction. Use demographic fear-mongering to justify anti-immigrant sentiment. 3. Get out guy, anti-immigrant nationalist. Extremism level. Quote. Viral clip, hit 10 million views on X. Tone, aggressively exclusionary, implying immigrants, even legal ones, don't belong. 4. My parents are immigrants, but girl identity denial. Extremism level. Quote, viral clip, for million views on TikTok. Contradiction. Admitted her parents were immigrants, but rejected immigrant identity. 5. Honorable mention. Ed Wynn, the unexpected ally. Extremism level. Not extreme. Quote, background. Undocumented immigrant who self-identified as far-right but agreed with Medhi on immigration. Viral moment. Meta called their exchange touching. Debate. In conclusion, the fact of the matter is that for all of the hand-wringing on the right about big tech and Silicon Valley, and so on, the conservative movement has benefited enormously from the same technology it claims to despise so much. That's true. If you look at the growth of Fox News over the last 5 years, it's been driven entirely by their digital platforms. Fox wouldn't be nearly as powerful as it is without those digital platforms. Same thing with all the rest of us. We have no choice but to use these platforms. You can complain about them all you want. You can demand that they be broken up, as some people in the libertarian and conservative movement have. But the fact is they are remarkably useful and conservatives have benefited from them immensely. There are not actually two sides to American politics. There's one dominant side, and it's the right wing. Every major American institution, government, media, business, universities, big tech companies, all of them overwhelmingly staffed by people who were educated at elite universities, overwhelmingly staffed by people who share the same political outlook, which is to say a neoconservative or a neoliberal outlook. And so the idea that there are two sides to American politics is just not true. We're on one side. They're on the other side. We're outnumbered roughly 10 to 1. And that's why things are going the way they are. Also, it should be noted, and I am absolutely sure about this, that the modern far right is unmoored from reality. This is a movement that is increasingly cut off from normal life, normal human experience, normal human relationships. These are people who don't live among other people like you and me. They live in a bubble, and they fantasize about a different world that they've made up. And because they've made up this fantasy world, they can claim any day now that it already exists. And when it doesn't turn out to be true, that's only because they haven't tried hard enough. So this is a movement that is unmoored from reality, and increasingly disconnected from the actual America that exists out there beyond the walls of their fantasy world. In the meantime, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to our channel to catch updates.